Yo, what it is, what it do. Welcome back to another fire-ass episode of the Homies Podcast. You already know who the hell I am. I'm your host, Ellis. And if you haven't already, please go bang that motherfucking subscribe button one time for your boy. It would be much appreciated. This week, man, we got a return guest. We actually got the first guest that was actually on the Homies Podcast coming back for another show to talk to us about this hoops and some other shit. My homie, your homie, comedian, Aaron Edwards. What up with it, pimpin'?
What up, man? How y'all doing in this crazy world, y'all?
Trying to survive, man. Try not to be bored as fuck and try to survive.
Shocked you got me out the house looking like this, honestly.
Hey, my nigga, everybody on that rough, cave I had to go find a homie to get my shit like this the other day. How's everything else been going with you, though, man?
Shit been good, man. Just trying to pass the time. Like, it's 24 hours in a day. You realize, like, it's a lot of fucking hours in a day.
It's so much sleeping and masturbating you can do during the day.
I mean, I'm going to hit the numbers regardless, but...
So how's everything been going? You been getting more time to get like more writing in and shit like that, or?
I try to, like, I'll sit down and try to make myself write, but like, I get my ideas from being out and shit. So when a nigga can't leave the house, like, I can only make so many jokes about the trip I got to take to Safeway for cheese and shit. Like I'm always just going for eggs and milk and shit. So like, I can't just keep writing the same joke over and over. So if something hit me, I'll write it, but it's hard when I'm not really doing shit.
I feel you. Like I said, ain't nothing really on. Can't watch shit really too much. So yeah, bro, I feel that. And what do you have? Do you have like anything once this bullshit virus shit done? You got anything lined up for anything you're gonna be doing? Anything people should be looking out for?
I had like another big thing coming up at the Comedy Store before all this happened. I'm not sure if that shit is still like happening because like big time comics like they're gonna have to get their spots first once everything opened up because they haven't been working either. So like once the bigger comics get up and then like the other tier comics will just try to get the scraps, I guess. Like
fuck them niggas, they already rich. Like, nigga, let me get my time. Let my man shine.
That's how the clubs work. You got to get the people back in the building. So like once the big time people get people in the door, then maybe things will start ramping up, getting back to normal. I hope so, at least.
It will, bro. Like I said, y'all that's funny as fuck. So yeah, you need to have that. They may make sure that go down for sure. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about, man, because I know your ass has been watching it because you're a diehard fucking hoops fan, just like the way I am. And we briefly talked about this on the last episode with Kyle James with the credit. If y'all haven't checked that, please go check that out right now. So we talking about this documentary, man, The Last Dance.
Yeah.
So first off, I gotta ask you, man, like, so what do you think about it so far?
I like it. It's taking me back to like a weird time because I'm from Gary, Indiana, so it's like right next to Chicago. So like right when all this shit was happening was like when I was starting to form memories. So I remember some of this shit happening live. And it's just like reminding me of like a bunch of shit. Like my family are huge Bulls fans. We got every championship Bulls t-shirt like after they won. So I had like a bull with the 6 rings on it. I had the bull with like the 5 rings on it. Like we had all those. We went to Magic Mountain as a family and we wore all our Bulls 5 ring shirts. Like we went as like Midwest ass people. Like I remember like that. Like I remember that shit like it was yesterday. And like yeah, we all wore our Bulls shirts. Like I remember during the 93 John Paxson game, like we had everybody at our house and like niggas was going crazy when Paxson hit that shot. And I remember that because my uncle gave me my first sip of beer during that game.
You're like, fucking, we winning? Go ahead, little nigga, go ahead.
So like right when I saw that game, I remember drinking beer for the first time and just niggas being hella loud at our house. Like this shit was like fucking religious like experience when that was going on, especially in the Midwest and for Bulls fans at least.
Fuck yeah. And that's why sports I feel like is so important, bro, because it takes you, it's almost like music and it's like nostalgic. Like that's why I'll be sitting back like watching even Kobe highlights and shit. I'm like, bro, shit takes me back to a time I remember, when I was first starting to get pussy. I started watching this, it's like, damn, this is crazy. So that shit is dope, bro. Like, so I also gotta ask you too. So, do you think Jordan is the best player in the modern era?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like by a large margin. Like it just looks so easy for him. I remember, like I said, like I just remember this shit like happening. So I would be watching NBA on NBC and then just go to John F. Long Middle School and try to do everything I just saw Jordan do on TV, like right next to the school. Like that's like how much we watched. We just watched everything he did, and then. Like, I know the ball was way too heavy for me, but I was still trying to shoot fadeaways from that elbow.
Bro, that shit is so dope, and it's so funny that people still to this day had this debate. And again, people, it's not no hater shit. It ain't that we fucking hate LeBron or people like. It's just, bro, Jordan's tenure from like '88 to '98. That fucking run was stupid.
They even named it. Like, he won MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, first team All-NBA, first team All-Defense. Like, MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season? Like, that shit don't happen.
It hasn't happened since '88. Ain't no all the great players that came in the league since '88 till now. This shit doesn't happen. Like I said, man, he was just on another planet, bro. And motherfuckers keep, LeBron and... Again, man, LeBron's nice. Kobe and all these people are nice, but man,
The thing is, like, I used to be like really big anti-LeBron, but like he swayed me like the dude can hoop.
He can super hoop. He's first ballot.
He's just like a humongous dude that can dribble and he will put you in the basket. But I also saw Jordan play, and I was there. I saw it, and Jordan's just. He's just better.
He's just better all around from an offensive standpoint, from a defensive standpoint. That's the all around game. And then even with passing, niggas like, LeBron's. It's like, bro, Jordan used to drop dimes on niggas, but that's not what he did.
Nah.
You know, I get paid fucking stupid amounts of money to put the ball in the basket, not to get assists. My name ain't John Stockton, nigga. Like, no, that's not what I do. So,
and even when they bought the triangle to him, like he was really against that shit, like he said, because he was like, the ball should be in my hand. Like, I was like, I'm Jordan.
All the fucking time.
He was like, what the fuck y'all want these other niggas to do for? But then, like, he started, like, to understand, like, a little bit more that it couldn't be the Jordan show all the time. Mm-hmm. Even though, if he wanted to, I think he could have won at least one or two with the Jordan show. It just made it easier to give up some of that power a little bit.
This is true. Because that nigga was that good. Yeah. I think you could have, took some kind of slapdick niggas, and yes, you could have definitely won. I definitely believe that shit too. And also, I try to also tell people outside of all the accolades and shit that the nigga won, this nigga was so durable. Jordan played multiple. His last season in the Wizards, when this nigga was like 112, this motherfucker played all 82 games, people.
If people still don't understand, like, he was pretty good. He was a little bit heavier.
Yeah, a little bit.
But he was still putting up numbers. I think he's putting up like 21 a game, 22 a game still. Like, that's not too bad. And he wasn't taking care of himself like most normal people do now.
Yeah, he was drinking, smoking cigars.
He was living Jordan life. And he was having fun.
Still out there giving niggas buckets, hitting game winners and shit. Like, I would love to see LeBron still doing that at 40. Like, I would love to see that. But so also too, man. So I wanted to get into this other shit that I wanted to ask you about, and I wanted to see your opinion on it because you, of course, you followed the Kaepernick shit, and you saw how that all unraveled, and you see how the NFL basically blackballed. Not basically, they did blackball the nigga. And it's like, nah, we're not fucking with you because of your social views and shit, which. Again, to me, is fucking crazy, and I don't understand how all the owners in the NFL ain't like under some charges or getting super sued or whatever the fuck. And also, too, we can see how motherfuckers protest different, how people act. You got motherfuckers going up to Capitol buildings right now with fully automatic weapons, and that's cool. But a nigga kneels during the national anthem. Oh, nigga, what are you doing? It's like, okay, we see how that works, but. There was somebody I wanted to talk to you about, and I know that you remember because you like you said, you a fucking Bulls fan through and through. So I know you remember Craig Hodges, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And
he can win a 3-point shootout.
You feel me? Like, super nice. So for everybody out there that's listening to the doc, listening to, the podcast right now that haven't or don't know Craig Hodges, because again, it's like, it also shows you too, like, the powers that be. Yeah. How niggas can, like, literally just erase you.
Oh, yeah.
Out of, like, it's like, and, like, this documentary, like, I was watching and I was like, yeah, I remember Craig. I was like, I ain't seen this motherfucker, though, the whole documentary. And he played, like, a pretty big part in the first 2 championships.
Oh, yeah. He played a lot, too. And, yeah, they made it seem like he never happened. Like, I saw him flash for a little bit on the documentary, and I was like, damn, they not even gonna mention this nigga like once
at all. It's like y'all name John Paxson, Sneaker, all these other niggas, but the nigga that was really y'all 3-point assassin. Nah, we're not gonna talk about him. And just a quick rundown for the people out there that don't know who Craig Hodges is. Shout out to Craig Hodges wherever you at, man. We fucking love you over here at the Homies Podcast. That was some bullshit of how they did y'all, but. You were a 3-time NBA 3-point contest winner. For 3 years, you led the league in 3-point percentage. And you won 2 rings too with the Lakers too as an assistant coach. Shout out to Phil Jackson picking you up, Laker ganger, don't bang. You know what I mean? And it was, and also I just wanted to bring this awareness too because I feel like because Kaepernick is so. Of course, he was a Super Bowl quarterback. He didn't win the Super Bowl, but he went to. You know, you playing in that position where you guys get a lot of spotlight. So I feel like it was. This happened to a lot of other athletes, and it's continuing to happen to others, but they don't have the platform like Kaepernick has. And like the story, even with Craig Hodges, to me is fucked up and kind of like it was also funny because of how black this nigga was. Like he didn't give a fuck. First he went to Jordan and was like, "Hey nigga, you need to leave Nike. Like they on some bullshit. Like do some shit." Employing people in Chicago, you know, be able to do it. And, Jordan, like, nigga, I'm on my paper.
Yeah, Jordan's about Jordan.
Yeah, fuck all that, nigga. Fuck the youth, nigga. He don't care. So, after that shit, these niggas, they won in 92, so they went to the White House to see George Bush Sr. And in the blackest form ever, which again, wow, I love this nigga wore a whole ass white dashiki. Everybody else got on suits. This nigga full dashiki'd out because like no fucks given. And then he gives George a letter, just basically telling him like, "Hey man, you need to do more for the black and brown communities in America and shit."
He wasn't asking a bunch.
Yeah, you know what I mean. This basic shit. You know what I mean. And right after that shit happened, nigga gets back and they release this nigga from the team. And mind you, he was only like 31, 32 at the time. So he wasn't like, "Oh shit, you old, we just want to move on."
But you say prime time for most NBA players.
And you a shooter.
Yeah.
So it's like,
shooters last longer than everybody else.
Exactly. Ray Allen can come back right now, bro, get a job somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's just like that. So how do you think that's weird? Do you think that still happens like a lot more than we hear about? And also too, like is there anything else out of the documentary as well that you like want them to put more light on that you like just haven't yet, or you think they might get to later?
I think most of the stuff they're gonna get to later, but as far as the Craig Hodges thing, I think that like these days it'll just be put out anyway, like social media wise. If social media was around when Craig Hodges did that, like it would have blown up. Like it would have been everywhere for a long time. Like it would have been like impossible to throw it away. That's why when Cap happened, he had enough people on his side and social media to where it's like it was just going to get to everybody. And it's just like a lot of people in different corners, like I'm sure people are going to hear this and be like, "Who the fuck is Craig Hodges?" And there are people who probably have never seen a whole NFL game who definitely know who Colin Kaepernick is. Exactly. And that's like just like the social media age kind of makes it easier for all this shit to come across. Like when Donald Sterling was saying that racist shit, like apparently he had been like that for years. Just wasn't no social media to put him on blast like that. So what social media like kind of helped out a lot of this stuff and make sure it never went away. So like that pretty much made Kaepernick just last forever. And Craig Hodges, if he came at a different time, I think that he would have probably lasted just as long too.
This is true.
Because Colin never even got to go to the White House. If he did, I'm sure he would have did some wild shit too. Right. And he did all this just by kneeling on the sideline without even getting a face-to-face with the president. So, which
is crazy, bro. And even with that shit with Donald Sterling, I felt like both ways with the shit. I felt like, yeah, man, I'd never give a fuck about a rich white dude losing his job. Like, fuck you, nigga. Like, I don't care. But at the same time, too, it's like how they did it. It's like, oh, nigga, you're in your house. Like, if you want to say racist shit in your house, it's your house.
But I think, like, it was just that he was doing shit like this for so long, and they were just looking for a reason. Like, they were like, the NBA, the owners, none of them really liked him, so they were like, just any way to get him out of here finally. And they were like, this is it, we got one. And, like, if he ran a stop sign, they were going to try to get his ass. They were just trying to get Donald Sterling the fuck out of here, and he gave them a reason, and they took it.
Right? And I'm also mad about that shit because I was like, I kind of wish he would have stayed just so you could just continue to be shitty. And we could, y'all just the B squad forever, keep being shitty. Now y'all got this new fucking owner, this nigga all ramped up, and you want to do all types of shit and get a good squad. And I'm like, man, fuck the Clippers. But yeah, man, I feel like that shit is mad unfortunate, and it happens all the time. And again, that dude Craig was a 2-time NBA champion.
Oh, yeah.
And if anybody also, too, if y'all want to go take the time right now after the podcast, go check out this man's 3-point contest. Like, if y'all want to know how good of a shooter, he's still to this day, after Ray Allen, Larry Bird, Steph Curry, all these great, he still holds the record for three-point contests, making the most in a round. He made 21 out of 25. And then he also holds the record for most consecutive shots made with 19.
Damn, let's get hot.
Wet. Like, bruh, the motherfucker can shoot the draws off. And he couldn't even, and my thing is, which, again, people act like the collusion thing, even like with Kaepernick, people act like that's, like, so far-fetched. It's like, dude, these dudes are billionaires. It's only... and now it's like 28.
Those niggas probably got a text chain. They were just like, it just take one text, honestly, man.
No, like, we ain't fucking with him. We ain't fucking with him yet. We ain't fucking with this nigga. Like, and that's just what, and to me, it's like, and as a fan, that shit makes me mad because it's just like, bro, like, y'all, like, how many of y'all GMs and owners are shorting the fans?
Oh, yeah.
A great performer. And I almost look like Chicago. Granted, the motherfuckers went on to still win 4 more, so obviously they really didn't need you, Craig, but it's like, damn, man, if you a Chicago fan, you're like, damn, nigga, we just lost our 3-point specialist for what? Because this nigga's telling the truth? Because he wants the same shit that everybody, white, black, brown, want? Like, that's fucking weird.
The Bulls were just plugging at that point, though. Like, they could have just thrown in any kind of shooter, and you got Jordan. So they kind of weren't even, they probably didn't even think that far ahead. Once you got Jordan and Pippen, you kind of just put the pieces together after that.
Everybody else is kind of like, whatever. And I really hope that they go over and talk about, like, because it's so funny, because when I lived back in North Carolina, my homie Josh, he used to be, like, a huge fan of, like, Tony Kukoc. Why? Don't know. He just used to like fucking Tony Kukoc. And I remember, like, that, when they talk about when Jordan and Pippen played that nigga, like...
Oh, yeah, that's tonight.
That's the
one they doing tonight.
tonight.
Yeah, when they put the absolute clamps on that nigga.
Fucking harass that nigga for a whole game.
They put that nigga in prison. Like, goddamn.
Oh, so this gonna be the new nigga that's supposed to be? Okay. Like I said, man, and that nigga Pippen, like, we were talking about him on the last show, too. Like, do you just feel like this nigga is just, like, the most underrated nigga, like, is he the most underrated ever? Kyrie?
I think Kyrie even get more credit than him now. I think, like, if people see enough highlights of him, because not many people are, like, looking up Pippen highlights, I guess. Mm-hmm. But, like, if you go and watch, like, him just putting clamps on dudes and running the floor, like, Pippen was a star, and he would have been really good in today's NBA, especially. Because he could guard anybody and
switch on everything.
Yeah, and he made a lot of big threes for the Bulls back in the day too. And he would probably shot more these days. And he would just been all around better. Like Pippen, I hope they show enough of him during the doc to like show people that he deserves more respect. But we'll see.
Yeah, so far I just kind of feel like y'all niggas ain't really showing like, because even John Sally on Vlad TV, he was talking about like being around all of them. You know, John Sally, you know, he's been around for everybody. And he was just talking, he's like, I think Pimpin is more, which I personally don't agree with, but again, he's around these niggas more. He's like, I think Pimpin's more skilled. He's like, then Kobe and then Jordan. And I was like, wow. And I was just like, that's a huge statement. That's a stretch, John. Like, hey, you around, nigga, you're a more basketball expert than I am, but I'm like, a little too much. When I watch, like, I watch Pippen too, and it's just like, it's like, I don't know, bruh. But like even in the finals, like when they played the Lakers, which I fucking hate, because of course, you know, I'm a Lakers fan, like, he clamped Magic the fuck up.
Like, he got Magic fuck out of there. And Magic still had decent numbers, but yeah, Pippen was putting that nigga through hell.
Yeah, it's like, bro, up until that time, I never, first of all, like I said, I've never seen nobody pick up Magic full court.
Yeah.
And then, like, was like Magic, like, if you pick you up Magic, I'll stay up, just get around you.
Pippen was not worried about Magic going by him at all.
No.
Pippen had no fear.
Not at all. And basically, I almost look at him like, you're almost like Draymond, but like better feet and better offensively.
Just all around better. Like, I wouldn't even know who to compare him to. Like, he's like, if Paul George was a superstar, like, like if Paul George like had the capacity to want to, like, nobody picks up anybody 94 anymore. And I think like at some point, like, you just think a nigga's weak and you like, I'm gonna just lock him up. Like,
The only nigga that probably does do that is like Patrick Beverly, where he's like playing the Lakers, like trying to annoy the shit out of LeBron.
But I don't think anybody has the confidence to do that shit no more. And back then, like, if somebody was just whack, you just pressed them. I remember our coach was like, let's get these niggas off the court. Let's just press them and get
the
out
whole
of here.
game, and we just gonna beat these niggas by 20 and get the fuck out of here. Niggas can't even get it past half court and shit.
And I don't think, like, NBA teams do that. But the Bulls, sometimes they were like, Jordan Pippen, let's get this one over quick. Like, let's put the clamps on these dudes.
And like going back, like I said, is there anything in particular that you really want to see? Like me personally, I want to see more practice footage.
Yeah,
I want to see these niggas in practice, like what was going on, like Jordan talking shit. Like I want to see him in that form. Like
I want to see Jordan finally losing it on his teammates, because it's got to come. Like it's like a well-known thing that Jordan just was a nuts person. And I also want to see like the end. Like I want to see how they talk about winning a championship and breaking a team up. Like that shit just doesn't happen. Like you in a dynasty and then just like I want to know like the step by step on like you said Phil Jackson wasn't coming back this whole season, but after they won the ring, after they got the trophy, like what is the conversation after that? You like, all right, bye. Like, bye Michael Jordan, bye Scottie Pippen. Like, this 6-year run that we had at championships is over. Like, I want to see how they handle, like, talking about just ruining the dynasty, because I really still don't get the logistics of just wanting to stop when you could probably get at least one or two more.
Exactly. And that also just shows me, too, and people be talking about, like, even, like, LeBron now. I'm like, bruh, like, that's why I kind of shit on LeBron the way I do, is because it's like, bro, first of all, you've been to more finals and you haven't even. Jordan still has fucking double the amount of rings that you have. And also, too, it's just like, bro, you got to hand pick your team. Like, Jordan was like, even Jordan himself didn't have as much control as you have right now. Kobe.
Oakley was his boy, and they were like, Oakley got to go. And Jordan, like, he was like, all right, I guess Oakley got to go. Like,
ain't nothing I can do. Like, they will never do that shit. Like, LeBron's like, nigga, I need J.R. Smith. I need whoever on Clutch Sports, I need them here. They there, bro.
Yeah, you can't trade LeBron's friends. Like, he got people on the team that's with Clutch that shouldn't even be playing. I mean, like, it's just how that shit works now.
And that shit annoys the shit out of me. I'll be looking like, how many niggas that are just way nicer that could be in your position? I'll be seeing niggas like Jared Dudley. Hey, man, Jared Dudley, I fuck with you, man, but I don't fucking know how the fuck you still in the NBA and how niggas pay you to do that.
I think it's because he's a vet and he can still shoot the three, like we said, like, you can shoot the three, like, you belong out there. And he's like a good glue guy, like, people like enjoy him, and during a long season, like you just need that nigga that's there. Like that's how Richard Jefferson stayed for so long. He was a good glue guy. Like his podcast is funny as hell too, and like,
Richard Jefferson can play though.
Yeah, but his legs was gone toward the end of that, and he wasn't even like a particularly good shooter. But like
Richard Jefferson now, I still think can out dunk and out move Jared Dudley right now.
Oh yeah, you would give Jared Dudley buckets.
Buckets, bro. And that nigga be retired. Ain't he been retired for a couple of years now?
Yeah,
like,
been a couple now.
It's like that shit is ridiculous to me, bro. Like
it is more like Jared Dudley was like good. Like I forget that he was like ACC Player of the Year once at Virginia Tech. Like he was just like hooper. Yeah. And when he was on the Suns, I just didn't know that much about him until like I just had to look it up. Cause I was like, how's this dude just out here busting people's asses? And then you find out in college he was busting people's asses.
Niggas be coming at that nigga crazy online. That nigga be losing his shit. They're like, we'll pull. He's like, any of your niggas want to pull up? I'll put you in the fucking basket. Oh my God, like, why are you even, like, nigga, you're an NBA player. I don't even talk to these niggas online.
But people do be talking well like that. Just like if a nigga's like 200th best player in the NBA, like, D3 nigga walk into LA Fitness right now and give you buckets. Like it's a different level of game. Like you a hooper, but you're not like a hooper. Like any level of school or college that these niggas played in, they're probably better than you.
Exactly. Like I said, and I personally played against a couple niggas that I'm just like when I lived in Tucson, and I remember catching runs with like Luke, like a Walton and shit.
Oh yeah.
I was just like. You're in the NBA. Okay, you're tall. I get that part. But skill wise, not seeing it. I don't feel
I think
it.
some of those dudes turn it on. Like if they get in a run with like different NBA players at LA Fitness, I think they'll turn it on like that. But like, I
we're
think
just we're just some regular ass niggas.
Yeah,
we're not.
I think like they just kind of give out what they get in. Like, so they just going to get like a jog in, like probably to get warmed up and shit. Like, I think that's just like how some of those dudes do that shit. Like, they'll be like, all right, I'll play with some regular niggas like for a little jog. But then once they like with NBA players, they try to like not get embarrassed.
Right? Because I definitely want to even go to those runs they be having in New York, those blackout runs.
Oh,
and shit.
yeah.
I'm like, I want to go to those. I want to see niggas get it in like that.
I like those UCLA runs those niggas be having during the off season. I like those a lot too.
Rico Hines,
Yeah, like I know they be going at each other at that one because Russ and all them BFOs, Braun BFOs, like. Yeah, I like those too.
Yeah, and they definitely be getting in there because I've seen niggas super get their ass busted. I like that the energy that Rico keep in there. Like, hey man, y'all in here fucking work. Don't get on no fucking superstar prima shit. Like I like that shit.
That's how I like Dame. Like Dame's not like with that clicky shit. Like Dame is just here to hoop, and he plays just like that too. Like Dame is out there to bust your ass.
One of my favorite players in the league.
Yeah, Dame is probably like one of like maybe even my top favorite player in the league right now. Like Dame is just out there to get buckets, and he's not with the hoopla. Like the nigga's just out there hooping.
Yeah, and I love. I remember a nigga hit him up online. They're like, "Yeah, bro, I don't see you working out. You need to start." He's like, "Nigga, I ain't got to record every. Trust me, nigga, I'm working. I don't have to record everything like everybody else." And that nigga came out was busting. It's like, yeah, bro. Like, and I just like I said, I just like that nigga's game, bro. Like. Quiet, I ain't gonna talk a bunch of shit. It's like how niggas that like on a fight, like yes, nigga, I don't the niggas that nah, nigga, I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna sock you the fuck out. I ain't gonna say too much. I'm gonna get my job done and I'm gonna go out and do my thing. Like dunk on you, polished.
Yeah.
Yeah, that boy good.
That's why when like, and I like Russ too, but when Russ be doing all that talking on the court to Dame, and Dame just be like, all right.
Like I don't like, and that's the part of Russ I don't like.
Yeah.
Like to me, it's just like I don't mind the chipping, especially if you're nice. Like how Kobe used to, like when you hear Amon Shumpert with the, hey man, you had a good game.
Yeah.
The third quarter, like I like little shit like that because you know what time it is. I'm about to turn this bitch up, and you're about to see it was like. Russ, bro, I've seen Ricky Rubio take you out your game and bust your ass, bro. You should probably, you need to chill with that. And also, too, just from a skill level. That's why I never really fuck with, like, Russ's. I don't fuck with a lot of people's games that are, like, your game is, like, basically based off of just being super athletic.
Yeah.
Like, Russ, to me, is like, bro, if you were to ever have a major injury, like, it would be a wrap for you.
You kind of saw, like, the cracks kind of break in, but he started playing. I think like the pandemic like really fucked him up because he found a really good groove, and he was like hooping like the last like the end of February, like beginning of March. He was putting up numbers, but it took him a while. Like he was shooting like 19% from three and shit. Like he was just struggling, and I think like it just took a while. And also I think just playing with James Harden is hard. So I think he have to get used to like just a new system.
I don't give a fuck who you are.
Yeah,
that has to be weird. You're the 1-2 combination.
Yeah.
Then the nigga that's the one leaves. Now you're the guy. And now a nigga that used to come off the bench, you gotta kind of take a back seat to.
That shit is wild.
Yeah, that's weird as fuck. Like I know that has to make him feel a little weird.
Yeah, I just remember that finals with them and James Harden disappearing. Like he was supposed to be like their secret weapon off the bench, and like the Heat just gave him fits. And Russ was really like just fighting. Like he was fighting for Oklahoma City during those finals. Like he put up like 44 one game. Like he was trying, but
so man, that nigga Russ, man, I don't fuck with his game like that. I fuck with his game, but it's like I fuck with his go. Like, you always on go, nigga. But I don't fuck with how you're not polished. Like I said, you're not a great shooter.
I think like if he had like that just angry energy, but he was also just like it just looked better to watch. I guess like I like just niggas being athletic and trying to dunk you into the basket, but. Yeah, like, I think just for his career to keep going, he's going to have to figure out just, like, the how to polish the shit. Like, how Jordan stopped dunking on niggas for the most part later on, and he just found a spot. And I don't know what Russ's move is. Like, some dudes have moves, even like Paul Pierce. He got to the elbow and pulled that fadeaway. Like, dudes have a move, and I just wouldn't. If you asked me to name Russ's, I couldn't name it.
Right. And it's like I liked him shooting mid range. Like I feel like he started for a while. He was getting better at like elbow extended, like knocking that shit down. But it's like you say, he don't have like what's your if you're trying to get a bucket last game, like what move you going to, and it's just like you don't have that. Yeah. So we are paying some quick bills real quick, man. Y'all don't go nowhere. Y'all don't leave us. We gonna be back with more shit with the homie Aaron. We'll be right back with the Homies Podcast. Don't go nowhere. Yo, what's good, man? We are back like we never left this motherfucker here with the homie Aaron. We talking hoops, and we just gonna switch gears real quick. And we're going to talk about this show that's came on that's just ended the first season. We're talking about Dave, man. And that's with the rapper Lil Dicky on this motherfucker. Now, our video director, the homie Diamond over here, he does not fuck with this show, man. He thinks this nigga is the corniest nigga ever. He like, that nigga does not make me laugh, bro, at all. So I gotta ask. It is kind of far, so I gotta hear. But why don't you like the show, bro? Like, what's the main thing about the show that you like? I don't fuck with.
Dicky. That nigga is not funny, bro. Like he makes the show trash. Like that nigga just really turns me off when I see that nigga on camera. Like his raps is cool. When he rap, he good. I give him that. But his acting. Trash. If they had somebody else, I would probably love the show. Because all the niggas around the show is funny. But that nigga ruins it for me.
Does it give you any leeway that that's his first time acting and doing all this shit for the
No,
first
that
time?
nigga shouldn't have his own show. What do you mean? Like, no.
Oh, God. So, Aaron, what you think, bro, about the show?
I had zero expectations. Like, I knew, like, his music was good, and the dude could, like, he's creative as hell. Like, he really does music shit that nobody would think to do. Like, and so I had no expectations, like, going in. I kind of knew, like, sort of what it was going to be about, but I didn't know, like, the places that they go with it. And then, like, after, like, the first 2-3 episodes, I was like, this nigga figured out how to do his shit. Like, he got some really good writers on there, and he's telling his story, and, like, you can kind of tell what his story is, even, like, if you just look into his past and shit. But, like, telling his story this way is actually really funny. Like, he's just like this dorky ass nigga around like some real niggas sometimes, and he's trying to like real comfortable. Like when he sees the Crips at the
store, he's like, "Oh, why don't you guys come?" He's like, "Nigga said, fuck it, I'm gonna come." I'll be like supportive wives.
And like, and when he was throwing up the C on accident, but he thought he was throwing up the Lil Dicky sign, and then he was all like, "No, like that's Crip, cuz." And then he was like, "So I've been accidentally throwing up the Crip sign." He was like, that's kind of leaves me with like another half of the audience I can't have. It was like, so can y'all delete this picture?
Like, nah, you be alright.
And like he just gets, it's like a dorky younger Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like it's just like he just get caught in these dumbass situations, and he's like so uncomfortable. And like now, like that I'm in LA a lot more. Like I can get it. Like those situations get uncomfortable. Like you don't know if you belong, and maybe you do, but like it's kind of weird. Like trying to navigate like acting like you belong and like also being in your place and not being like, no, I'm that nigga sometimes. Yeah. So you kind of got to navigate it without like being off-putting, and like that show like really shows that shit. And then when he needs to spit, like the nigga like goes off, and he like and when he does like decide to go off, like he really goes off. The finale was good. The song "Jail" at the beginning was some of the wildest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Bit the nigga's dick off and spit out. Oh, this nigga's wild.
Like I was like, it was like he started the first 8 minutes off. I was like, what the fuck is this nigga doing?
I thought the whole show was gonna be just that video. I was like, what the fuck is going on right now?
And then when it shows him like in the meeting and like trying to pitch the song, like he just figured out how to do the show, and like it's mad respect. Like that's a really good first season, especially for a bunch of people that didn't think he could pull it off, because I definitely did.
Yeah. Like you said, I really didn't have no expectations on the shit either. I was just like, I'll watch it, see what it is, and
yeah, he got the backing of some really good people too, though. Like Greg Mottola, Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Greg Mottola, he directed Superbad. Like it's like a couple of people that just like if you get the backing of them, then they can definitely lead you the right way, especially if you know what you're doing.
Exactly. And I feel like for him being the first time producing and doing a lot of shit, I was like, yeah, man, you doing a good shit. And like you said, the scenarios he's in, to me, that shit is like so realistic. Like the shit with YG where Taco comes out and he's like, nigga, I don't even know where I should say something or when I shouldn't say something. He's like, yeah, that doesn't sound like creative. That doesn't sound like a good creative space to be in. It's like, yeah, I don't know what I should do. Like, yeah, I'm sure these producers like, nigga, I went to school. I'm an engineer. Nigga, around these niggas that just smoking, drinking, this wild ass niggas like, hey, bro, I don't know what I should say something. Like, hey, whatever you want, Mr. YG.
He was like, give him my tape. He was like, I'm not gonna give these gangbangers your tape.
What the fuck? Like, yeah, man, I definitely think it's a funny show. I like I said, some of the scenes, it's like even when he argued with his girl, like that shit, like. I ain't gonna lie, like, I looked at my girl after that shit, and I was like, I don't want to talk to you for like 10, 15 minutes. Because I was like, that shit felt too real.
Oh, the breakup episode. Yeah, that shit was rough.
Yeah, like, when they're outside, I was like, damn, nigga, this shit feels kind of real right now. Like, yeah, bitch, like, why you had me come to this bullshit-ass wedding? You don't want to come to this shit. I got other shit to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, man, I like how they, like I said, hit it on the head. It is sometimes, like, the weird white boy gay humor.
Yeah.
But it's still...
But you gotta expect that, too. But then, like, they kind of, like, loosen it up with, like, just having Gator there and be like, y'all niggas weird.
Yeah.
And Gator's, like, hilarious. Like, that nigga, you can tell he's just a nigga from, like, South Central.
Who's
like,
your favorite character?
Oh, it's Gator. Like... Gator's
the manager's my favorite fucking character.
Oh,
right?
What was Mike? Yeah.
Yeah, his manager, Red,
Yeah.
dude. That nigga's like my favorite character. Cause like, this nigga's just funny shit to me.
Benny Blanco's been mad funny, too. I didn't know dude was that funny on there, but he's hilarious.
Bruh, spray me down. Roll me up. Like, what the fuck?
And that nigga's rich. Like, he done produced, like, so many #1 songs. Like, he is paid.
Like, motherfucker. When that nigga said, you're wondering how a dude that looks like Danny DeVito and Andre the Giant mix, nigga, I cried. I was like, that is such an accurate description.
He was like, yeah, I was actually thinking that.
I was like, that nigga looks like straight Andre the Giant in the face, but nigga, you're short as shit. Like, how does that work? Oh my god.
Talent, man. That's all it takes.
Right? And where do you think this is gonna be one of those shows that like they're gonna have 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons, or do you think it's gonna be a 2-3 season type of joint?
I think now these days, like, people, they're putting all their best ideas into these episodes, so that's just, like, naturally just gonna shorten seasons, and I like that. Like, if you want to tell a story quick and do, like, 3-4 seasons, then I respect that. Like, the show The Good Place, like, they were like, this is where we should probably end this. Like, we used up a lot of really good episodes, and we could end it on our terms without people thinking it's trash now. And I think he can do that too. Like, I know, like, you can kind of tell, like, he's going to have a fall off, and it's going to be, like, kind of entourage-less, like, things going well, things going bad, things going well, things going bad. But he can have, like, a lot of weirdness in between. And I think if he wants to do it for, like, 4 or 5 seasons, then he could probably pull it off now.
Yeah. And I know because you've been doing a lot of writing and shit lately.
Yeah.
You've been wanting to, like, write for shows. So, like, from watching, like, from the writer standpoint, like, how do you like that, like, from the writing? Do you think it's well written? Do you think the characters are well written?
Oh yeah, it's really well written. Like, and a lot of people like have their stories. Like, it's not always focused on him, and I like that. Like,
I like that
you
too.
can they have like pretty much a whole day where it's just his producer and the girl that he's sneaking around with. That's like part of their friends group. And you got the Gator episode, which is probably my favorite episode, where you just see like Gator and his mental health shit. Like, it's like they focus on everybody pretty decent, and then once they get to Dickie's weird life, then that shit's fun too.
Right. And that to me is like, it's funny. Before the episode with Taco and his girl, I said that in the episode before. I was like, man, this show is like good to where it's like you don't even really need Little Dicky because all the other characters are so good. They're strong enough on their own. You know what I mean?
And since he's our age, like when they flash back to him like in middle school and shit, like I remember those times, like the gear that they was wearing, like with the Tommy Hilfiger and like the weird shorts and like all that, like the shit that they were wearing then. I was like, damn, me and this nigga are exactly the same age. So whenever they flash back to his childhood shit, I'm like, yeah, that's 2001 gear. Like, I remember it.
For sure. Yeah. It's mad relatable. Like, yeah, I definitely, like I said, I fuck with it. And like I said, probably because I just, again, didn't have no shit for him. And then this last episode, how he just ended it.
Yeah.
To me, that shit was dope too, bro. And I actually wanted to tell you about that. Like I said,
the freestyle at the end.
The freestyle, how he
killed
ended
that
the
shit.
episode.
Yeah.
And like, oh, what is your name? But when the game came out, I was like, that was fire. I see you. Like, yeah, man, that shit was just, and just to have that, I feel like this is gonna be too, and I could be wrong. I almost feel like this is gonna be like the new Entourage for rappers.
Yeah, in Atlanta, like they have like that same version but weirder. It's just like focused Atlanta. So like they do like a lot of shit that only people from Atlanta will really know too. And I love that shit. Like that show's hilarious. And yeah, Dickie, like he could pretty much go like a bunch of different ways with it. So I'm still not exactly sure what he wants to show, to be honestly, because they did so much different stuff this season. But it might just stay like that.
I hope he stays breaking up because I don't like his girlfriend.
Yeah, I think that's like a real thing because his album, he talks about, he has a song called Molly, and he talks about having the auto-tune with his ex-girlfriend, and the whole video, he's at her wedding with like another dude. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to get back together. Or maybe he's not keeping it like his real life, so.
Yeah, man. That, like I said, yeah, I like the show. Like I said, outside the Lil Dicky show, like I said, you've been fucking with the Insecure too?
Oh, yeah, I always fuck with Insecure, like, since day one.
Yeah.
It's just, the show's just hella funny. Issa just is so weird and get caught in so many weird situations. And her and her friend, they all just so petty. Like they just be, they just always on each other's shit. Like
I hate Molly. Like her dark skin home. I do not like her.
I feel like everybody hate Molly now, but like Issa be saying some wild shit like the last couple episodes too. Like both of them just be in the wrong a lot now.
And Lawrence, hey, shout out to Lawrence, my nigga. I don't know
Team Lawrence.
Yeah, Team Lawrence.
Team
Hey,
Lawrence.
nigga, you came up, bro. You came up. Fuck Issa. That's why that bitch is getting fucked by some fat nigga security guard, and you got a bad one, nigga. Shout out to the real niggas out here, bro. Hey, we could choose up out here, bro. Straight up. 2020, we choosing up. Shout out my nigga Lawrence, man. I love that shit. That shit made me happy. I'm so glad. It is so glad that they have a lot of like women writers and shit, and they were still able to just still do that and do it from a male's perspective.
Oh,
and
yeah.
not make him seem like he was this asshole.
Prentice Penny's a really good writer though. Like, so and with him being involved with that show, like he's really good. So I knew he was gonna do Lawrence right. And Issa's smart as hell too. She's been writing for a long time. So they all been around like just niggas for a long time. So I think that's pretty easy.
And everybody that I talk to that are from LA, they always like, bro, this show is super LA.
Yeah.
Like, dog, they get everything like almost like right on point with this shit. And I was like, yeah, I'm not from LA. You know, I've been there a few times.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, bro, if I'm not from LA, but I feel that.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm there enough to where it's like, and it's weird. Like I didn't used to like do this when I watch stuff, but now I'll see shit and I'll be like, hey, I know that spot, like, or I know that street, and it's weird. Like you kind of know these areas a little better now when you watch the shit.
That shit is dope, man. Like I said, I definitely fuck with both of those shows, and I hope they have a lot of. I hope it's a lot of seasons where it's good. I hope it's not like they just dragging on and the shit just like, all right, man, this shit ain't funny no more. But I feel like that so far doing a great job, and again, just like with the show with Molly, hey, bro, a lot of y'all women out here, y'all just unhappy as fuck. Like, you don't never want to be happy. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, this him saying this, not
Yes,
me.
that is me saying Ellis Mass on the podcast. A lot of you bitches, watch that episode. Yes, a lot of you bitches gonna be 40, 50 years old by yourself, unhappy, on some Molly shit. Be happy, bitch. Be okay with surface happiness. It's okay. It's okay. God damn. So, one more thing before we get out of here, bro, that I had to talk to you about, because this shit just came through my iTunes last night, and I was like, let me check this shit out. So, this nigga Drake just dropped a new album, mixtape, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't really know what it is.
Yeah, he's been weird with that lately.
Yeah, it's like, and I feel like he don't low-key want the pressure of it being an album, because niggas say
I think it's a record deal thing. Like he has to do a certain amount, and so he has to call them whatever he needs to call them to get finished with the contract, I guess.
I got you. It makes sense. And I'm just like, okay, so what you think of the album, man?
Really, like a lot of the songs had leaked out already, so I think it was only like 3 songs that I hadn't heard when I heard the thing, and like it was cool. Like I like when he flexing and not doing singing Drake so much, but yeah, like I'm not really as into like the British shit as he's been doing like the last couple of times, but he has like 3 or 4 songs like Landed and D4L is probably like my 2 favorite songs on there, and those shits bang, and it's because like when he decides to float and take off, like he can still rap, like he just try to switch it up too much, so where I feel like he don't even know what he's trying to do sometimes.
Yeah, it's like, nigga, where you hit me with the fucking NDTs, NDC, you know, like, nigga, that ain't, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, I just be feeling like Drake is just super commercial, and it's just like, and also I just feel like, nigga, you're like too rich now. Whereas like now it's like you finally got to the rich that you want to be at. Now that all the Canadians just flowing out you.
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
and I still like that's one of the things. Like I think he kind of confused because like the nigga like he'll flex and like talk about like coming up, but I'm like you can only talk about coming up so long after you like get this rich. So I don't even know like how much that's gonna pass now. Like niggas are just gonna be like, hey, you rich now. Like we don't want to hear about that time you drove a Honda Accord. You're not driving one no more.
Exactly. You way past that. And even, like I said, that was always like my thing with Drake is just like, when he do flex, it's just like, like I said, I grew up in the Big Pimpin' era. So it's just like, don't nobody flex to be better than Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, nigga, he flexes all the way around. Like, my bitch is make more money than you, nigga. Like,
Yeah.
that's a huge flex right there, my nigga. So it's just like, I just feel like you don't get no better than that. So when I hear Drake do it, it's like, okay, you're like the Slim Fast version of Jay-Z. I get it.
But when he decided to take off and like really take off, the dude like he flexed better than a lot of other people though.
This is true. Like,
we just get sad boy Drake sometimes, so it's kind of hard to.
I'll be like, what you sad about?
Yeah.
Like, what you ain't got nothing to be sad about, Drake.
Yeah, he
You
just
with
gets
it.
sad after every bad chick that he has leaves him, and he gets the next one like the next week. So he ain't sad for that long, but in that time where he write the song, he's sad about some baddie or whatever. Who knows?
Like, bruh. And so so I know this was like a debate for a long time, you know, the Kendrick and the Drake. Who do you think at this point right now in their career is winning that battle, that rift back and forth?
Well, once Kendrick decides to put something out, like, it's kind of hard to even determine because, like, Kendrick is either making a 40-song album somewhere, and because I feel like I ain't heard new Kendrick in so long, so it's hard to even
3 years.
Yeah, so it's hard to even determine where Kendrick even is compared to other people in the game. Like, he just haven't put out music
Outside of the Black Panther soundtrack that he did, and that was just like.
And he was on maybe 2 or 3 of those songs. Yeah. So, like,
of course, we still fuck with, Damn out here, but.
So, like, yeah, like, I don't even know how to determine that. Drake's put out music, so I guess by default it would be him, but, like, Kendrick got to put music out.
And is it a quality over quantity thing? Because, like, with me, it's like, Drake done put out, like, a couple of joints since Damn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll still listen to Damn before all those fucking ones
like,
you put out.
I still don't really skip any songs on Damn, and... Yeah, Drake, like, he dropped just so much shit. Like, there's going to be some hits when you put out, like, 30 songs in, like, the last 3 years or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Kendrick just ain't got us any. Like, I think the last one is a song with Taylor Swift is the last thing I remember, honestly. And that shit is weird to say about Kendrick. Like, the second he puts out music...
You already know, like, that was some paper.
Yeah.
You already know, like...
The second he put out music, I think, like, he'll be back to being that nigga Kendrick again.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, because that nigga Kendrick, I'm excited to see his next album because I always said like it's a couple people in the game that's had like rides, like Kanye, for example, is like, bro, your first 4 album, 5 albums was fucking out of here, bro.
Oh yeah,
it's like, and I feel like Kendrick is on that same trajectory. Like, nigga, your first 3 albums are all basically fucking classics, bro. Like, where are you going from here?
I think like. The NBA being out, like, kind of hurts it, too, because during the NBA season, like, once the finals and, like, the playoffs started, I always felt like a bunch of big-time rappers would drop an album, like, about now.
So they could be the playoff song?
Yeah, and, like, and Kendrick, he did Damn around that time, too. Mm-hmm. And I think, like...
Humble was, like, the fucking sit for the soundtrack for the playoffs.
And I think, like, the NBA being out is changing, like, a lot of people's, like, drop dates and, like, how they want to do this shit just because, like, there ain't no NBA games to play this music at.
Because last year it was ATM.
Yeah.
I remember they used like J. Cole shit a lot.
Yeah.
So you're 100% right with that. Like, that's funny. I've never thought about it like that. Like, I feel like they do use the NBA as a big catalyst on niggas moving and do shit.
Yeah.
Like, niggas really be fucking loving this hoop shit, bro. Like,
because like the second somebody drops something, then you're gonna see LeBron working out to it, and then that song is gonna be big, and you're gonna see other players working out to it like during the playoffs, and then these songs just kind of blow up based off of that shit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that nigga LeBron's been like the fucking Like, this nigga's like Dr. Dre. You just picking songs now. And
Yeah.
basically, if this nigga plays your song in the back of his car where he's going to practice, your shit gonna blow. Like, it must be nice, nigga, having that much power and shit. And bro, if Drake makes another motherfucking song like that Tootsie Slide shit, bro, stop making these songs for these 10, 11-year-old. Who the fuck? And he starts the song like, yeah, it's something for the streets, but this is the day. Nigga, no, it's not. No, it's not. Nowhere do they do that in the streets. Nowhere, bro. In Calabasas in the streets, maybe, but not nowhere where real niggas is at, bro. Stop that shit, Drake. God damn, bro. Do you think Drake has any class? Like, do you think he's going to have anything better than the shit that he's dropped before? Do you think like we've seen the best of Drake, or do you think it's some better shit to come?
Well, I think Take Care is a classic, and that shit just came out like when I was like, what, 22, 23?
Mm-hmm.
And it was the perfect song for 22, 23, the perfect album for 22, 23-year-olds. So I think Take Care is an album, and I honestly don't know if he can do better than that because that shit's just full of hits.
I like if you're reading this better.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Well, of course, you know, all the shit that came out later, but it was just like, yeah, bro, it was just like every song I play, I like it. You rapping on the motherfucker like a motherfucker.
And that's what I like about if you're reading this too, is like he didn't try to do like as much of the slow shit. Like he's just trying to make bangers, and that's kind of what people want him to do. He just hasn't done it in a long ass time.
Which pisses me off sometimes. It's like sometimes artists try to be too artsy.
Yeah.
And it's like, Drake, you can make an album right now, 10 songs, all like have beats like how Hype was.
Yeah.
And niggas would love it. Like,
He really good.
and it would be dope, bro. But it's like you trying to, I don't know who you're trying to appease. Even when you rap like that, women even love it.
I
bro.
think they just get bored. Like
Sure.
there are some times where I get bored and I'll kind of think like I'm doing sort of like the same range of jokes. I'm like, I'm gonna go weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just try to figure out something just to like spark something again. Like,
Right.
just to like get the brain moving. And I think like artists, like especially musicians, they do that shit all the time. Like they'll do like one album or two and that'll sound like they regular shit. Then that third one is like, all right, I'm trying to get out of this little groove that I'm in to try to spark like better ideas, I guess.
And that's why I fucking like Kendrick, because this is like, bro, like,
Yeah.
none of your albums sounded like
Oh,
I heard
no.
Good Kid, Mad City to Pimp a Butterfly. Is like, is this a different nigga? Like,
Yeah.
who the fuck is this? Like, this is not what I was expecting, but it was like, I like that from an art perspective.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to be surprised. I don't want to, like, that's what I didn't like with Drake's albums. Like, when he did the Scorpion, I remember like 2 years before that album dropped, I remember me and one of the homies, Damo, we were talking about this shit. I was like, bro, and we literally like, why don't he just make an album, one for the streets, one for the sheets? We
Yeah.
literally said that, like, A and B side.
He
Literally
did.
talked about that, and then he did it, and I was just like, that's trash. I was like, nigga, don't. Like, that was some high idea that I came up with one day when we were talking. You actually ran with that idea. And
If
it's
anybody was gonna do it, it was him, though.
of course, because you're the person that's so torn between both. Like,
Yeah.
niggas want to see you rap, but also I understand bitches pay for the shit, and
Yeah.
you gotta appease.
And I've
your
been to the
audience.
concerts, like there are hellos there, so.
First time I went to a Chris Brown concert, like I told people, I will never take my girl to any other Chris Brown, Drake, any pretty nigga. Fuck you. I'm not going to your concert, nigga. My girl was sitting there the whole time, nigga. Like, I wasn't even fucking there. Like, this was the Take You Down era, too.
Oh,
so
nah.
nigga was like, oh, it's here with
Yeah.
it. And nah,
That's-
fuck
nah,
that.
never.
Never. Not a never. Fuck that. Oh, shit, bro. So, you already know, man, I could sit in here and talk with your ass all day about this shit, but I know we gotta get the fuck up out of here, bro. But before we do, anything you want to plug, anything you want to tell people where to find you at and all that?
You can find me on the couch in my robe. Probably catching up on something on TV. Wash y'all fucking hands. And yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. Well, shit, bro. You already know, man. I appreciate you again coming through, bro. It's always fun as fuck when you come through and you gotta bring your ass back again.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a haircut next time I come, so I'm
Hey.
not gonna always look like this. I'm sorry, people.
Camera ready. It's like, I know I look a little lumberjackish right now, but we coming back camera ready next time. You already know, man, and I appreciate you again, and thank y'all again for tuning in to another week of the Homies Podcast. Please go hit that motherfucking subscribe button, and I love y'all. Y'all stay safe out this motherfucker, and we'll see y'all again next week. Shout out to Homies Podcast, y'all. Peace!